August 12th, 1805. 215 years ago, Meriwether Lewis stood atop the Lemhi Pass in what is today Idaho. After nearly 15 months of surviving in the wilderness, paddling against the powerful flow of the Missouri River, surviving bear attacks, bridging the language gap to establish peaceful relations with the Mandan Indians, and molding a group of strangers into a tight-knit family, Meriwether Lewis arrived at a place and a moment that he expected to change his fortunes and those of the Corps of Discovery forever. At what we now call the Lemhi Pass, he believed himself to be at the rumored Northwest Passage, an easy half-day portage leading to a downstream paddle to the Columbia River and eventually the Pacific Ocean. But instead of an easy downhill journey to sweeping plains of plenty, Lewis was staring into an endless view of rough, jagged, snow-capped Rocky Mountains. Canoes would no longer serve them. Food supplies were nearly gone. Winter ahead was closer than the springtime behind, and the members of the Corps of Discovery were beginning to despair. With what Stephen Ambrose has famously described as undaunted courage, Lewis and his co-captain William Clark pressed on. They would have to ditch their canoes and brave an entirely unknown, unforgiving wilderness, employing all new methods of travel compared to what they had become so proficient, if not comfortable with. Everything would change. And if they began their descent toward the Pacific, there would be no going back to what had been. This was a moment that would shape history forever, for them, for our young nation, and for the world. In my view, Wayzata Community Church and the Global Church of Jesus Christ are at a similar moment in time. Will we ditch our canoes and brave a new unknown wilderness? Will we move forward, employing new ways of sharing the good news? Are we willing to press on, knowing that we might not ever go back to what had been? Well, by reflecting on the collective experiences of Lewis and Clark and the Corps of Discovery, without glamorizing the harsh realities of frontier life or the social realities of their time, we have much to learn as a church, which finds itself on an unexpected journey into unmapped territories, with new peoples to reach and new methods to explore. In a worship series titled The Geography of Hope, we will simultaneously draw from the expedition of Lewis and Clark and the Apostle Paul's missionary travels as recorded in Scripture. May we have the same undaunted courage and adherence to hope as so many explorers of faith have had before us, that we too might arrive at the shoreline of new waters, blessed by the journey that is our home. On this journey, we'll all be given the chance to prepare for what it means to say, "Here I am, God, send me." Having very recently stood in the Lemhi Pass myself, all I can tell you is that the view is fantastic. Be well, know that you're loved, and I'll see you in church.